So today we're going to be doing a update video for ticker symbol AMC, another meme stock, another highly shorted stock on the market. People taking advantage of this stock. People opened up positions at $1. But right now, what we will be looking at will be the initial trend for this stock, what we can sort of expect for today's trading day, and how we can possibly maybe open up a position to hopefully see that short squeeze that everyone has been anticipating for some time now. So I've already put in some good resistance points for AMC at the $43 and $57. Now we can go ahead and possibly even add a few more in between these, but this is a nice a zone which AMC has been bouncing out of, consolidating within this zone. These two yellow trend lines, this triangle formation is very, very important as well for us to see that this stock continues to trail and bounce off of this yellow line, then finally possibly breaking out to how I like to say it, we would expect a violent price increase within the stock of AMC, as we have seen with other meme stocks like GME, with the SPCE, with CLOV. So AMC in general has seen some immense price action movement. And people are still getting into this stock. This stock is still trending greatly on social media platform. There is a individual that I would like to also mention. I think he goes by the name of, let me just remember, Matt Kors. So this individual, uh, this individual is has been yes, his name is Matt Kors. He has been tracking the price of AMC for a very long time, and he seems to be also a holder in this stock as well, and has provided a lot of great information on the AMC stock, which is all available online. But right now, what we will be looking at is the initial trend for today's trading day. Now, something that you always have to keep in mind with the short squeeze is that the fundamentals of trading slightly have to be kept onto the side, just because the way short squeezes work is very different to way how blue chip companies are being traded. For example, we do not know when those short squeezes will close, and until we don't see that violent price action, we cannot assume that the short squeezes have started to cover their positions. Right now, what we've been seeing in the past couple of days is a nice consolidation of the AMC stock. We saw a nice high, let's see that high of $73. We actually saw it touch this high two times, and then obviously profit taking, which is very normal in these sort of actions because people have a lot of money in line. People might have small positions which might be very valuable to them as well. So obviously profit taking is very important, and that always has to be part of your game plan. We've seen a double bottom of this $43.82 mark, and since then it has been trailing, hitting this resistance of $57, being rejected, falling down, but nicely bouncing off of this yellow trend line. Now, obviously, everyone who is involved in such stock is anticipating the short squeeze to happen imminently, but that is not always the case. The short squeeze could happen tomorrow, it could happen in a week, it could happen in a month. That is what's very hard to predict. That's why it's very important, if you are doing these trades, to do your due diligence, to wake up at time, look at the pre-market prices, and look at the pre-close prices as well. once the market has closed to get a nice understanding of what sort of trading is going on with these stocks. Now, because this stock has been sort of bouncing off of this, it's okay to assume that this AMC, because of this massive price action movement upwards, is slightly in a consolidation mode. Now, we cannot predict how long it will stay in this consolidation mode, but as long as it stays and the retail investors are confident about AMC, and they're confident about the short squeeze with all the information provided to us on the web by numerous websites and numerous YouTubers who are so certain that the short squeeze hasn't even happened. They have said that this price increase that we saw, boom, 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 right from here, was more of a gamma squeeze with a slight, obviously, closing of short positions, pushing the price of AMC to all-time highs. So this is very, very important. Now, with short squeezes, it's also important to be psychologically prepared for downward price action movement, because that's how hedge funds are able to manipulate these stocks. Retail investors are going in with a few $1,000 positions. Maybe some individuals have $100,000 positions. Some individuals will have positions in the millions of dollars. But to really push this up, retail investors and then the sharks all have to come together, start buying call options, start buying stocks to really increase the value of AMC's company, so the short squeezes will start to close their positions because they will just not want to take on a larger loss than they already have. Now, because there still is a short interest on AMC that still exists till now, we can assume that eventually some sort of price action movement will happen. But we also have to be prepared for downward price action movement, because large hedge funds have big, big accounts where they're able to play the market and psychologically even play with retail investors. But with the information that I'm seeing online, with on YouTube and Twitter, on Reddit, and on popular groups like Wall Street Bets, everybody seems to be, um, how they say it, hodling. They are holding the line. They are not ready to sell because they are looking at the information on the AMC. They're looking at that the fact that there is a large short position still open, and then there is still controversy on naked shorts, and that information is not available to retail investors. That information is only available to those hedge funds. That information, again, is not available to us. So if there is a naked short position on AMC, we will just have to wait and see what sort of price action movement we can expect for AMC. Now, if I always like to use GME as a nice psychological example for individuals who started this movement. Obviously, Roaring Kitty, who a key player in this, who provided data to the thousands of people, and maybe has now reaches maybe even in the millions of the peoples, who followed his word. He has a group, and if retail investors like the company, regardless of the financials, they do not want to see it go out of business, then they have the right to buy that stock, and that's what we are seeing. AMC is a great example in that same sort of example, because after COVID sliced to fade away, people's lives, people want to return to their lives that they had before this. Go back to the cinemas, watch the movies, go to restaurants, have a good time, and start to enjoy the things that they have been missing out of for the past year and a half. So this is also a great catalyst, because there are amazing movies and people are now just wanting to get out of their house, finding the things that they used to be used to, the weekends, go for a movie, go out to the restaurants, enjoy their times, whatever it is. So I am very hopeful that those times are coming back. I'm very positive on 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 that aspect of the economy. So, but if we are to get back, we have to understand that we are playing a short squeeze. Now, we have to be prepared for, again, psychologically prepared for a little bit of a downward price action. And we also have to be prepared for the upward price action. It's always very important to have a game plan of when you want to sell, whichever side you're playing. Now, the whole point of this market is to make money. Now, you're going to have people making money shorting the stock. You're going to have people making money um, playing the upward price action of the stock. And you can never object either games because that's how the stock market has been designed. So that is what you have to anticipate. You have to have the stomach for it. You have to be psychologically prepared for it. Once the short squeeze does happen, I am expecting uh, a volatile price action upward movement, similar or possibly similar to GME. It's really hard to determine what sort of price we can set for AMC just because it's really hard to anticipate that sort of price action movement. For example, if we're to look at GME, just a couple of days ago, it was trading at $150. Many investors looking at that price point would have been turned possibly away from trading into GME just because of its high price. But even then, it proved those investors wrong. It even proved me wrong because I did not expect GME to again touch that $300 zone. But there's still a short interest available on GME, and they proved me wrong. So that also builds my confidence. It builds my own personal knowledge for future shorts, for future great companies that retail investors want to see succeed, and they want to see possibly even their children enjoy those companies like AMC, GME, whatever it is. And these short interests have been very beneficial for retail investors and for those individual companies who are able to use that cash flow to invest back into their companies to provide better products for customers, which is the sole purpose of any business, which I believe. Um, Again, this information, I always do this information for my due diligence. This is like my homework before investing in any stocks. Um, this is how I usually look at the companies, and because I really enjoy what companies are doing, what companies are wanting to do, how they're investing their money, and what sort of technology they're adopting to make customers' lives better and to make customers' lives more enjoyable. That's the only way these businesses will succeed, and the vital goal for these businesses is to provide the best service possible to all their customers. So with this stock again, this yellow trend line seems to me to be very important. I would like for AMC to trail in the upward direction, bouncing off of this yellow trend line, and then possibly if we do see the squeeze, then we will see a volatile price action movement upwards, which you also have to be prepared for. You also have to have a game plan for that price action movement upwards, so you know when to close your position. Now, any profit is profit. A win is a win. Some individuals will take profits early, which is perfectly fine. Some will take them later. But it's important to just have a game plan in mind, whichever direction you're playing this stock. Obviously, because AMC is a meme stock and people and the social media are behind AMC, GM, GME, CLOV yesterday as well. These are all trending stocks. So I do expect their price action to move upwards and not in the downward direction. But regardless of the fact, the game of the stock market has been designed to be played in both directions. And people have taken advantage of both directions. Now, me personally, I am still not confident in playing in the downward price action movement of stocks, but I build my knowledge and I build my understanding to see and to reaffirm my thesis. And these resistance zones really provide me good information for me in the future to get more comfortable in playing the upward and the downward direction of stocks. The more knowledge you gain, the more comfortable and the more confidence you will gain in your trades. Now, which is very, very important. So gain your knowledge, understand how this simple charting happens. We can even add a very popular indicator, the RSI indicator, which also shows you how the strength of the stock is moving. Now, for example, AMC seems to be just bouncing off of the oversold territory, so we could see some nice price action movement upwards, and then possibly consolidation. And then maybe when we reach the peak of this triangle, we could see the spike happen. But again, this is very, very hard to predict. We do not know what the hedge funds are thinking. We do not know the whales, the big sharks, what they're doing in the background, how they're playing their positions, because obviously nobody wants to take a loss. Everybody in the stock market is there to play the game to make profits. So these are very, very important points to take into consideration. Gain your knowledge, understand how this simple charting works, look at these simple indicators, and then after that, once you've done your due diligence, look at the company, look at the directors of the company, the CEO, what the company is investing in, what is their long-term plan, what they plan to do in the future, how they're diversifying their funds, are they investing in other companies, are they buying out other companies. All of these are great catalysts. Now, I know, especially with these short squeezes, is a lot of people tend to not look at that information because they're just waiting for that to spike up. But it's always, always, always very important to have a full understanding of of the company, the PE ratios, all of that information. And once you feel comfortable, once you see that whatever information or whatever charting that you do, and you see that price hitting those resistance zones and you feel comfortable in opening that position, then that would be your trade. So then again, I would just like to reaffirm my point that this is just my homework. This is my due diligence. I am trading AMC, and I am watching this and I'll be updating this day to day to give me more confidence and to reaffirm my thesis. I also look at important information on the web. I also look at a lot of information from YouTube as well. Very, very smart people who have been promoting this stock, who are trying to convince people, and they have convinced people who have invested in AMC and have made a lot of money to either pay off their debts, whatever it is, but they have profited from playing these stocks, which is very, very, very good. So we'll see. We'll be keeping a close eye on AMC and a lot of the few other highly shorted stocks as well. So if you did like this video, make sure to leave a like. Leave a comment for any companies that you would like me to analyze. Right now, my focus has been on these highly shorted stocks, so I have been putting out more videos on that. But if you do leave a comment on a certain company, I will try to make a video on that. And it will be great for me as well because there's so many companies out there that are worth investing in that people can sometimes miss out on. So it's also great for me to know that the community is sharing their information with me as well, and it gains my knowledge as well. So make sure to leave the ticker symbols in the comment sections, and I'll try to do some charting information for those companies as well. Make sure to subscribe, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and obviously thanks for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one.